Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and welcome to this weekend WoW for the week of August 26th. Before we get started, as always, we must thank our Patreon supporters. We have Mario Casillas, RetPallyRocks, Nick Rada, Peter Burnham, and RetSpecOps. Thank you guys so much, beyond appreciative for that support. Now let's hop in and talk about what's going on in the game this week. A lot of stuff to talk about at midnight. We'll try to do a quick little rundown of some things as we get through the video here. But first, let's talk about some other things that are going on. The Eastern Kingdoms Cup is returning, so if you never did this in Dragonflight, basically you can go. I don't know if you still have to go to the Dragonflight or if they'll have a person in Dornegal to do this. I can't remember. I think this already happened once, so there might be a person in Dornegal. If not, you go to the Dragonflight zone, or the quest will send you there anyways, and you can buy the outfits and stuff there. And you just go around the Eastern Kingdoms and you do dragon flying races in the old zones, right? So in, the Arethi Highlands and stuff like that, right? Like that'd be the Eastern Kingdoms Cup, or, Elwyn Forest, etc. Just random Eastern Kingdom zones there. So you can go through and do those. It's actually pretty fun if you've never done it at least one time. It can be fun to go through it. If you enjoy dragon riding at all, it can be fun to do one time. Manaforge Omega, we have the last wing of the Raid Finder opening up, so that'll be Salazar and Demensis. Those will be open up on the LFR. So if you're just an LFR player, which a lot of the player base is, you can go through and finish that on LFR. You could have already done Demensis on story mode, but the LFR is now open. We also have Battleground bonus event going on as well this week for all the honor collectors, and we have PvP Brawl Temple of Hatmuga going on as well. So that's about all the little stuff going on, I would say. But there's a lot to talk about with midnight reveals from last week. First of all, I didn't do a video directly about it, but the cinematic was revealed. I don't know if it's the official cinematic or not. It says official on the thumbnail, but normally they title official. And this one, they named it, I can't remember what word they used, intercession or something like that, and which means like it's some force comes to the aid of something else, basically like intervenes. So I don't know if there's going to be another cinematic, but if it is the final cinematic, I'll give my takes on it. And regardless if it is or isn't, right? If it's not the final one, I think it's very, very good. If it is like the final one, then I think it's kind of more middle ground. But overall, I liked it. Obviously, it's very Horde themed, and I mostly play an Alliance player, and that's a big discourse online. Believe it or not, it's too Horde, it's too Alliance, and stuff like that. But we're at Silvermoon City, and Xal'atath is taking it over, and Leadrin prays to the Sunwell, and eventually, through begging, what is revealed as the players themselves, and probably some forces who wield the light come through, basically a portal of light, and aid the city, and Xal'atath runs away. Overall, I thought it was a really good cinematic. It had a lot of battling. Of course, there's the normal discourse because, there's this, there's a movement without, I don't even think this is political. Like there's a movement of being woke in gaming, and then there's also a movement of being anti-woke in gaming. So there's this whole battle that goes on in there. I don't normally engage in it because it's like, yes, if something is annoying, I don't like it, regardless of what side it's on or whatever, right? Like I just go by if I like something or not. So I don't really care about that, but that's what a lot of the discourse turns into. For me personally, I generally liked it. It's a good battle. I like battling in the cinematics more. So the Dragonflight one wasn't my favorite. I still kind of liked it after Shadowlands, like just because we're going from Shadowlands to Dragonflight, I kind of liked it. But normally I do like to have a little bit more battling and stuff in mind, and this was obviously like a war going on, and so I like that. And of course I play a paladin, so the whole light stuff coming through, obviously I kind of like that too, so I'm a little bit biased on that part of it. But generally speaking, I like the cinematic. If it's the final one, then to me it's probably like a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 or something like that. But if it's just like a random one and there's like one more coming, then in that case it's like a 9 out of 10 or something, right? It's a little bit better. If it is just a placeholder for now until we get the absolute final one. But I have no idea. I'm only going on that because of the title. They normally title it a certain way, and they didn't title it that way for this one, which just makes me think that maybe there's another one coming, essentially. But I don't know that for sure. That's just my own thoughts there. So we had that coming out. That was a big news. We had, well, obviously the trailer is big news, but then we had the confirmation of a new Demon Hunter spec, the Devour. It's going to use intellect, so it's going to have mana apparently. It's going to use intellect instead of agility, and it's going to be a caster, but like a melee caster. So kind of like an evoker, but they described it more as like literally like evokers are always wishing they had more range and to get back further. But apparently the way this is going to play, you're going to want to be like a melee, like zooming in and out of melee and stuff like that as you're casting and stuff. So, and not constant movement, but they didn't want to take away the movement from the Demon Hunter identity, because Demon Hunters just, they dash around while they're fighting all the time, and so they still wanted to have some of that, but not be so constant that you're like annoyed or overwhelmed by it as a caster. So it's kind of like a melee caster, I guess you might say, which could be weird, but and it will have to have the defensives appropriate for that. But we'll see. We'll see what it's like. I know I've seen both sides. Some Demon Hunters are like, I don't want to intellect, and some Demon Hunters are like, this is really cool. It's something completely different to do, and it like, and can like maybe they only play Demon Hunter, but now they can have like something slightly different to do as a Demon Hunter. So I could see that. So that's where we are with the Demon Hunter stuff. I'm trying to think of other just like really big stuff. They had a lot of housing going on. Nothing too new there. Just everyone who touches it says that it's really good. And I imagine that from what I've seen on it, it's probably just going to be the best housing probably in any game, other than like The Sims or something, right? That's like where it's the whole game. It seems like it's going to be really good. So if you do like that, I imagine if you're neutral or you like it, I imagine you're probably gonna be pretty happy with the housing. We have the date, it says by June. That's because of some laws that if you release a pre-order, it has to come out by a certain time. I expect the release date to be closer to March or April, and they have until June to release it technically legally, but March or April to release it. They did do the pre-order stuff. I always say this, I'm not in favor of pre-ordering. I'm not in favor of early access or any of that stuff. But I do think the way World of Warcraft does it, that it doesn't matter. So both things are true. I'm against it, and I don't think it matters. So it's one of those things where, like, okay, I get to level up first. There's very specific ways in which it matters, to where this is a very small group of people, but they do exist, right? People who only play in war mode and like only play for world PvP. If you do not pre-order and you insist on leveling with war mode on, then people could already be at max level and potentially kill you. However, there's another side of that, is if you have really good gear in the War Within, at the end of War Within, and those people level up, there's not going to be access to really good gear at max level. So the way scaling works, you actually might kill the higher level people if they tried to come after you. So it's not completely, but it is something for real, and it's a small group of people. But I'm all for hearing all sides from everybody. So that is a real issue. But other than that, it's not really an issue. There's nothing to really be gained power wise. I guess you could start leveling your alts earlier. So I guess if you're like I don't know, but like you still have so much time. I guess if you're like a Race to World first player or something like that, you need to pre-order so you can get all your alts leveled ahead of time. I mean, that could be a thing, but again, that's such a small group of people that do that, right? So I don't know. To me, like I said, I'm not in favor of it, but I also don't think it really matters in the context of the way World of Warcraft does it. At least maybe other games it's more egregious, or the power gain. There is a power gain or something like that. Anything else from Gamescom? New talent's coming. So I did a video on this, so you could watch a video about it if you want to hear more about this. But new talents are coming. We get 3 points in the class tree. We get another line of hero talents, so like 3 more hero talents, and then we get 4 talents in our spec tree, including an Apex talent that's going to like kind of like be, you don't have to take it, it is just talent points, but they're basically saying you need to take these because they're going to like kind of define your spec. I talk about this more in my video if you have some like worries about it, of how I think they're going to roll it out, because I think they're basically doing this to kind of consolidate power in certain talents, that way they can tune them easier actually instead of having them all over the place. Be like, okay, these are the talents that have the most power, so we can kind of tune these. instead of having to worry about every single talent. Every other talent will have much less power, so it'll be less effective, of a big effect. So that's what I think's going on. But again, that's just my opinion. I tend to be right on these things because I've played the game so long and kind of like feel like I understand what the devs are doing. But that doesn't mean I'm right 100% of the time. It just means I'm right more often than not. I'm sure there's other stuff I'm missing from there. Silvermoon City, there's a big discourse on this online. You know, at first they said Horde, it's going to be mostly Horde with a small Alliance zone, and Horde players were all happy about that. Some Alliance players were mad. Now they're saying it's going to be, most of it's going to be neutral, and a little part's going to be Horde only, where Alliance can't go. And now the Horde players are all mad about that, and some of the Alliance players are like, ha ha, it's actually, there's just, believe it or not, if you're not in the online world of World of Warcraft, you would be blown away by the things that people argue about. Frankly, I'm doing videos on the wrong things because the people care about stuff like factions and like I don't even know. Like it's crazy to me, but this is something people care about, and it's not a small group of people. It's a fairly large group of people. It's all over the place there. So no offense if that is you. It's just I don't personally get it. That's all. So yeah, so we're gonna be looking out for more news. We haven't had any Ret Paladin real updates. I do plan on doing a trinket update video. They did just do some trinket tuning here earlier today actually. So I'm planning on doing a trinket video because for Mythic Plus I just kind of said most of the trinkets are just kind of meh outside of the pacemaker for Mythic Plus, and that's kind of still true, but I do kind of want to go over it more now that I've had a chance to play with a lot of the trinkets. And you know, I'm sure the simulations have gotten better and stuff since I first made the guide video. So I do plan on doing a trinket update video just to make sure everybody can be using the right trinkets and stuff like that. But other than that, we haven't had any updates yet. Ret's 5% damage, as I, said, was not going to be enough for raid. It definitely isn't. But, that's where we are right now. So, yeah, we'll keep posted on Midnight News. Obviously, we're going to have the Midnight Beta at some point. And then, everybody, now that I can get that just by pre-ordering, I can say that I'll have the beta. So I will be doing beta stuff as soon as it's available, mixing that in with anything that happens on retail, and we'll go from there. So lots of stuff to look forward to as we come into the, the fall here soon. I have a sweatshirt on today. It's actually a little bit chilly when I was out for my walk this evening. So I have a sweatshirt on. So we're getting closer to fall, right? We still have another, few weeks, almost a full month or whatever. We're getting closer to fall here in the northern hemisphere. So yeah, that'll be it for this one, guys. As always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. If you're already a subscriber, I encourage you to check out the Patreon. Not trying to sell anybody on anything, but I did do a really funny orange parse video for this week. That's like the top Patreon level on there. I do a video every week for that level, and it's a pretty funny video this week. I'm trying to do more, and I need to do more content on there in general, but I do that one video per week at least for the orange parse level. So just wanted to throw that out there because I thought it was actually a pretty funny video. Yeah, and other than that, everybody have a good one.